What's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. Back like we ain't never left, baby. So, I figure it's time we talk a little bit more about UBI, shall we? I think that's always a good topic of discussion, wouldn't you agree? Well, it's more about monthly payments, which leads to the bigger topic of UBI. And if you don't know what's going on, I just want to inform you about what's happening. So if you don't know, monthly payments for up to $300 per child are starting for most families, right? And it's been in the news, mostly print media, talking about it. And I just wanted to touch upon it for a little bit and see if that could segue to a bigger conversation about UBI. Okay, so as the U.S. government prepares to send out up to $300 a month per child to millions of families this week, the payments could end up coming for years rather than fading away next year as planned. So that's huge. So pretty much, families are going to get $300 per month, if not more, because it's $300 up to $300 per child for years. Now, originally this was going to be until next year, but now it's looking like this could go for years, which is essentially a sort of basic income. Correct? Correct. That's the prediction made by some analysts and advocates, regardless of whether they support or oppose the expanded child tax credit payouts, which are due to start Thursday and stem from March's $1.9 trillion stimulus law. It is very difficult for me to imagine that this will be going away anytime soon, said Michael Strain, Director of Economic Policy Studies at the conservative-leaning American Enterprise Institute. Strain said it's unlikely that lawmakers will reduce the child tax credit after ramping it up this year, and while it is possible the child tax credit could go back to getting paid out only once a year at tax time rather than through some monthly installments, he wouldn't bet on it. We're going to see politicians in both parties grabbing the reins on this, wanting to make it their own and having their own takes on it, which we saw during Medicare for All, when that was the big talk, which we saw during UBI. Every politician wanted their own spin on it. They wanted their own slogan, their own logo on it. Medicare for All, who won it, and things like that. So I think he's right on the money with that. I don't think you're going to see many people wanting to openly run against this. And this quote is from Nazif, who is the chief spokesman for Humanity Forward. Obviously, we know Humanity Forward is a non-profit group started by Andrew Yang. The monthly payments are slated to amount up to $300 per child under age 6, or $250 if you're age 6 to 17. They're due to come out this year's last 6 months, beginning this month and running through December. So the total amount dispersed in 2021 for a younger kid will be $1,800, while an older kid will get $1,500. Then the next year at tax time, parents or guardians of children under age 6 are due to get another $1,800 per child, bringing this total child tax credit haul for 2021 being $3,600. While those who are bigger kids will receive another $1,500 for a total of $3,000. That's because the $1.9 trillion stimulus law, known as the American Rescue Plan, increased the child tax credit amounts to $3,600 or $3,000, up from an earlier level of $2,000, with half of those coming through monthly installments. Wow. So if you're not sure if you're going to get one of those child tax credits, if you have children, but you don't know if you fall into the slate of year, how much you earn a year, if you can get that. Individuals making up to $75,000 and joint filers making up to $150 will receive it, with the payments phased out above those income levels. So if you're an individual and you're making up to $75K, you'll get it. If you're married or you are together in some way, shape, or form, and accumulatively you guys make $150, you'll get it. If you go over $150, you're not going to get it. Now, people are wondering how Republicans are going to feel about this. How is the right going to feel about these child tax credits? They've, in many circumstances, they've never been giddy about giving away money to people, right? Well, you'd be surprised because Mitt Romney has proposed something similar to this as well. Mitt Romney always seems to be like on the edge of some shit, like on some. Remember, Obamacare was originally one of Mitt Romney's ideas, and the Heritage Foundation with Newt Gingrich and those people. So it's funny, like Romney was on point with Obamacare. Obviously, it was called something different, and he's also proposing something similar to the child tax credit. So, what Romney was calling for was a $350 monthly benefit for younger children with $250 for older kids. He goes on to say this is something we see in American politics all the time. Once the government benefit is established, particularly one that gives a cachet to a wide swath of Americans, it is really difficult to roll back those kind of things. So even though this is nominally set to expire, I see very few ways that it could actually does expire. I think it's going to be a long-term play. There have been 3 rounds of direct checks during COVID-19, starting with the $1,200 stimulus payment in April, the $600 checks in December, and the $1,400 checks this past March, which was great, and people needed that. In the grand scheme of things, it should have been a lot more for a lot longer time for a lot more people. If you want my personal opinion on that, and since you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you do. Now, these child tax credits could be a launching rocket for UBI fans, okay? So it's going to be hard to argue that you're against UBI and you're for the child tax credits, because in so many ways they're one and the same. They're two sides of the same coin, right? So to stand there, if you're AOC, let's say, and to stand there and say you're against UBI, which she rolled back and said she's for, but I'm just using her example. You're against UBI, but then in the same breath say, I'm for the child tax credits, doesn't make much sense, and it doesn't look like you're coming off fair, okay? So proponents of universal basic income are excited about the CTC payments that start in July. It's akin to wanting to walk on the moon and launching a rocket into space for the first time. You're not there, but it's still pretty awesome. This is the largest basic income trial in human history that's about to kick off. It involves 70 million parents. It is a US dollar monthly, which is ideal. That's how people budget. And we're going to collect a wealth of data on how this improves people's lives over the next few months. Now, some of the people against the child tax credit, they have their reasonings as to why. And it kind of delves into the reasonings that people were against Yang's proposal of UBI. And it was because it didn't double dip or stack, however you want to call it. So with Romney's plan, for instance, while the child allowance is great, it is unfortunately funded largely by reducing other anti-poverty programs. So they're taking away from some of the other programs they had to put money into the child tax credit program that they have. And if you look at the statistics, low income families on average spend 35% of their monthly income on child care. That does not include food, diapers, clothing necessities, while upper income families only spend 7%. So that's a huge difference. 7% as opposed to 35% is huge. And so I guess with Romney's plan, he's taking away from some of the other anti-poverty programs they have to put into the child tax credit. So, look, I think this is a great idea. I do get some of the criticisms and critiques, like people are saying you got to make sure like the right people are getting it, and they want to make sure there's a good implementation. They want to make sure there's a good implementation process And what about people who don't have bank accounts and things like that? And yeah, you got to get all that squared away. Also, is this going to affect their other benefits? I don't think it is, but all in all, I do think this is a step in the right direction. Now, there's some people that I've talked to personally that don't want a child tax credit to continue for a long period of time. And if you feel that way, let me know in the comment section, and you're allowed to feel that way. But people need help. Like, I've spoken to people, and they don't seem to realize. They think, like, well, COVID's over. We're done with COVID. COVID's been taken care of. Like, we're on to the next phase. Not really. Not really. It's like putting makeup on the monkey, right? Sure, it seems like it's over, and maybe the worst of it is over, but it's still going strong right now, and people still need help, right? And I love that this is directed towards people with children, which makes it a lot harder to argue against, right? And it is definitely a stepping stone for universal basic income. Once you start getting these programs out where people are receiving money, like it was saying in many articles, it's hard to roll that back, and it's hard to argue against a UBI. And look, that's what we're here for. That's what this channel is about. That's what a lot of these other channels are about. The policies, moving humanity forward, and the battle of ideas. Okay, and I'm on board with UBI. Anything that gets us into that right step, into that right direction, without hurting people in the process, I'm all for. Right. So I just wanted to share this with you. Families are starting to get this. You may fall into that scope. You may fall into that range. Matter of fact, if you're one of the people that has a family that will be receiving the child tax credit, let me know, and let me know how you feel about it. Let me know in the comment section, because I think it's a great idea. If you're opposed to this, also let me know in the comment section. I want to hear your criticisms and your ideas, and why you think it's a bad idea. So yeah. Also, read my licks. Read my licks. Read my lips. Quick clips. Damn, that's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. Pretty much, if you haven't noticed, I have one up already. It was from the segment with me, Maya, and Boyce. What I'm going to be doing is whenever I do a live stream, sometimes they're really long. They run for 2 hours, hour and a half. I'm going to take points in those live streams that I thought were very relevant and make them more easy to digest. So I'm going to cut them up, put them out. Like, I think the clip with me and Boyce and Mia is 3 minutes long. Expect more of those clips. But the views on that clip are relatively low compared to my normal videos. So if the quick clips is something you want, let me know in the comment section. If it's not something you want, then I won't do it. I don't know if it's YouTube not sending out the notifications. I don't know if it's the algorithm. Let me know if you even got notified of that quick clip. So far, there's one out. After this video, maybe tomorrow there'll be another one. The Read My Lips quick clips. So you're gonna have tons from the Boyce live stream, and you'll probably have some from the live stream me and Russell did. And whenever I have live streams after, over time, probably spread throughout the month, you'll have little quick clips. So if you don't have time to sit there for 2 hours and watch it, the quick clips will give you the Cliff Notes version of what was talked about. So again, if you haven't checked out that quick clip, go check it out. I'm pretty sure either a link's going to be in the description or it's going to be up above. And yeah, so if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, a Venmo, a Patreon. Please feel free to donate. Every little bit helps. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. People getting money now. Acting funny now. Peace.
Sometimes I'm feeling high, but sometimes I'm feeling low. I wanna stay inside, I could call my bed my home. I've been trapped inside my mind, that's what keeps me in the zone. I think that I'll be fine, but I do not really know, yeah. It's too late for me, not too late for you. To be great, you'll see, the pain's worth the truth. I don't wanna be just someone that's new. I speak my mind so free, so you could hear the truth. Yeah, I know that we all have fear. In the back of our minds we hear the devil that's in our ear. Let it push you to see more clear. I don't wanna think about the pain no more. Everybody's not the same, we all open different doors. Yeah, we've all got different brains, that's what keeps starting these wars. I just stay within my lane, hope my words even score. I just try to keep it real.